They don't need to speak loudly, yet everyone listens. They don't chase attention, yet everyone notices. These people are rare, but what if you could become one of them? The ancient Stoics didn't teach you how to impress the world. They taught you how to earn its respect. In this video, you'll discover 15 Stoic strategies that will quietly make you one of the most valued people in any room. Welcome to this deep dive into 15 Stoic strategies to be more valued. In a world obsessed with followers, fame, and fake confidence, Stoicism offers something timeless, the art of becoming deeply respected through inner strength. This isn't about pretending to be confident, it's about becoming someone others trust, admire, and quietly follow. Whether you're looking to lead, grow, or simply live with more purpose, these strategies will transform how others see you because they'll change how you see yourself. What makes someone truly valuable not in terms of money, possessions, or status, but in the quiet way people respect, admire, and trust them. Why do some people walk into a room and instantly command attention without saying a word? The Stoics had an answer for this long before the modern world tried to sell us confidence tricks or power posturing. For them, value wasn't something you shouted or showed off, it was something you became. In the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a quiet but piercing truth. Your worth is defined by your character, not your circumstances. The ancient Stoics believed that true value came from within, from the way you respond to life, from how well you master yourself, and from how deeply you live according to your principles. In a world obsessed with appearance and approval, Stoicism teaches that being valued is not the same as being liked or loud. It's about who you are when no one is watching, and even more importantly, who you are when everyone is. Let's begin with the first few of 15 Stoic strategies that will elevate your worth, not in a superficial or performative sense, but in a way that anchors you, strengthens you, and draws respect from those around you. These are not hacks, they are disciplines, and once practiced, they become silent signals of inner strength that others cannot help but notice. 1. Be unshakable in chaos. When things fall apart, when tempers flare, when plans collapse, when nothing goes according to schedule, most people panic. But a Stoic does not. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." This insight is foundational. If you can be the one who remains calm when others lose control, you immediately become valuable. People begin to rely on you. They look to you for stability. In any environment, workplace, relationship, or social setting, the calm person becomes the anchor. That's real power, not the loudest, not the most reactive, but the most composed. 2. Speak less, mean more. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In a culture dominated by chatter, gossip, and oversharing, the one who chooses their words carefully becomes magnetic. When you speak with thought and intention, people listen more closely. They recognize that you don't waste words. Every sentence counts. That kind of speech, measured, clear, and necessary, makes people value what you say. You become someone whose opinion is sought, not ignored. 3. Practice delayed reaction. The Stoic doesn't answer every insult. He doesn't react to every offense. He doesn't immediately speak when he's angry or act when he's afraid. Why? Because he knows that the first impulse is often the least wise. Seneca reminds us, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Your value increases immensely when you develop the ability to pause before reacting. Whether it's in an argument, during criticism, or while facing temptation, those few seconds of silence and reflection can prevent years of regret. This pause is a superpower. The world reacts. The Stoic reflects. 4. Master the art of consistency. Everyone is disciplined for a few days. Everyone is kind when it's easy. Everyone shows up when they feel motivated. But the Stoic shows up even when it's hard. He trains when he doesn't feel like it. He is kind when others are cruel. He keeps his word, even when it's inconvenient. This kind of consistency is incredibly rare and incredibly respected. People don't trust emotions. They trust patterns. If you are reliable over time, if your values don't swing with the wind, then people begin to depend on you. And dependence is another word for value. 5. Be immune to praise and criticism. Don't let your reflection be controlled by someone else's mirror. That's a paraphrase of many Stoic ideas, but especially Marcus Aurelius, who said, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." A person who rises and falls with praise and criticism is unstable. They're owned by the crowd. But when you become indifferent to flattery and attacks alike, when you can remain steady, regardless of opinion, you gain something priceless: independence. The truly valued person is not someone who seeks approval, but someone who has a firm internal compass. They live by principles, not applause. 6. Train in silence. Most people talk about what they're going to do. Stoics just do it. While others announce their goals, the Stoic works quietly in the background. While others seek attention, the Stoic seeks mastery. This is the strategy of silent growth. Over time, the results speak louder than words ever could. There's something inherently respectable, even mysterious, about the person who grows without broadcasting it. Their results are their resume, their actions are their advertisement. Their improvement is their power. 7. Own the room by owning yourself. You don't need to dominate people to be noticed. You don't need to impress them to be valued. The Stoic enters a room with full ownership not of the space, but of himself. He has control over his body language, his mind, his emotions. He doesn't need to assert himself aggressively, because his presence already communicates strength. This self-mastery creates a natural aura of authority. People may not even know why they respect you, but they do. Because you carry yourself like someone who respects yourself. 8. Say no with grace. One of the most valued people in any setting is the one who knows how to set boundaries without arrogance. The Stoic is kind, but not soft. He understands that saying no is not rejection, it's protection. It protects his time, his energy, and his integrity. Seneca said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." In other words, if you try to please everyone, you lose yourself. Learning how to say no gracefully without guilt or hostility is a powerful strategy for becoming more respected. People may not like it at first, but they will admire it later. We live in a time when loudness is confused for confidence, and constant availability is mistaken for generosity. But the Stoic path is different. It does not seek to be everywhere, noticed by everyone. It seeks to be valuable, to be someone who is missed when gone, trusted when present, and remembered long after the conversation ends. The first part of this journey is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you are beneath the noise, calm, measured, unshakable. The next set of Stoic strategies will dig deeper into the practices that refine your character and elevate your presence. But remember this, being more valued begins with valuing yourself, not with vanity, but with virtue. Stay grounded, stay silent, stay strong. To be more valued is not about becoming more visible, it's about becoming more essential. The Stoics never chased admiration, but they often received it. Why? Because they embodied rare qualities that people instinctively trusted. Steadiness, strength, self-control. In part 1, we explored the foundation: calmness in chaos, measured speech, consistency, and boundary setting. But to go further on this path of internal elevation, we must now examine the deeper Stoic virtues that quietly build an indestructible kind of respect. 9. Lead without needing a title. Stoicism teaches that leadership is not a position, it's a way of being. You don't have to be the manager, the eldest, or the loudest. What makes someone a leader in the Stoic sense is their ability to guide others through example. Marcus Aurelius, as Emperor of Rome, never boasted about his authority. Instead, he constantly reminded himself to be humble, just, and rational. True leadership is influence without imposition. When people begin to adjust their behavior in your presence, not out of fear, but out of respect, that's when you know you're leading the Stoic way. The title means nothing, the presence means everything. 10. Detach from outcomes, attach to effort. Most people live in anxiety because they are obsessed with results. Will this work out? Will I win? Will they like me? But Stoicism flips the focus. It teaches you to fall in love with effort, not outcomes. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." When you become the kind of person who gives their best but isn't emotionally tied to the result, you radiate a rare kind of peace and people feel it. You become someone who can be trusted with responsibilities, challenges, even leadership, because you don't get thrown off by failure or consumed by success. You simply do the work. 11. Use time as your currency. Time, not money, is the true wealth of the Stoic. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The way you treat your time tells the world what you value, and it tells the world how to value you. The Stoic protects their schedule not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. They're not constantly available, not pulled into every invitation, not addicted to distraction. They move deliberately. This is why they are respected. People unconsciously sense when you are in control of your life, and they admire it even if they don't understand it. 12. Practice voluntary discomfort. This is one of the most misunderstood but powerful Stoic practices. Cato, a Roman Stoic, would walk barefoot or wear plain clothes among the elites. Why? To train himself not to be owned by comfort or public opinion. Today, this might look like fasting, cold showers, walking instead of driving, or saying no to things you can afford just to prove you're not ruled by desire. Voluntary discomfort builds a powerful inner muscle, resilience, and resilience is rare. It makes you valuable not just to others, but to yourself. When you're not afraid of discomfort, you can face anything, and when people see that in you, they instinctively turn to you in times of crisis. 13. Give without expecting. The Stoic gives because it's right, not because it pays. In a world filled with networking strategies, transactional mindsets, and what's in it for me thinking, the one who gives quietly, with no strings attached, becomes rare and deeply valued. This doesn't mean being a doormat or a people pleaser. It means helping because virtue demands it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's true delight is to do the things he was made for, and humans were made to serve others." When you give your time, wisdom, or effort without seeking applause, people notice. They trust your integrity, and that trust builds invisible capital more valuable than gold. 14. Practice inner approval over outer validation. From the moment we're children, we're trained to seek external validation, grades, applause, likes, promotions. But the Stoic gradually weans himself off this addiction. Instead, he turns inward. Am I proud of how I handled that situation? Was I just courageous and kind? These become his guiding questions, not did they notice me or did I get credit? This shift creates a powerful psychological freedom. You stop being a puppet of praise. You stop chasing approval. And ironically, once you stop needing validation, you begin to receive it more often. People value those who value themselves not selfishly, but nobly. 15. Die daily. This may sound grim, but it's one of the most empowering Stoic ideas. Seneca advised his readers to reflect each night on death, not to be morbid, but to be awakened. When you remember that life is short, you stop wasting it. You speak more honestly. You live more intentionally. You forgive faster. You set bolder goals. The Stoic who contemplates death doesn't shrink in fear, he expands in purpose. He becomes someone who others look up to not because he has all the answers, but because he's truly alive. This presence, this urgency, this depth, it makes you unforgettable, and that is value of the highest kind. Now, imagine a person who embodies all 15 of these strategies, not perfectly, but consistently striving toward them. Calm in chaos, measured in speech, disciplined in action, detached from results, but devoted to effort. Aware of time, indifferent to praise, resilient through discomfort, generous without seeking return, and alive with purpose. That person is not famous, not flashy, not loud, but they are respected. They are sought out in times of trouble. They are quietly followed, deeply trusted, and profoundly remembered. That is what it means to be valued in the Stoic sense. The modern world may not understand Stoicism, but it still craves what it creates. And if you walk this path not for applause, not for reward, but for virtue, become someone who carries value not in your wallet, but in your soul. Because in the end, as Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be.